Happy Monday. Hopefully you've had a pretty good start to your Thanksgiving week, and the temperatures, they're pretty nice today. We saw some above average highs, at least in the Rogue Valley. Still some below average lows, but we have a high pressure system that's going to be moving through our area over the next couple of days. It's going to bring some above average temperatures with it before we start to cool down a little bit later in the week. And Klamath Falls hasn't quite seen the effect of that system quite yet, only 1 degree above average and still below average for the low. Those overnight lows getting very cool. We are going to see a little bit of precipitation in our area, at least by around Wednesday. And that should mean that we could see a little bit of overnight snow, maybe some frost as well. Might be time to break out that windshield scraper in the morning. But let's take a look at the pinpoint forecast so you can get a better idea of the timing and kind of what I'm talking about with this rain. So you can see as we move through Tuesday afternoon, things staying relatively clear, very little cloud cover as well. But as you can see in the top left corner, that rain's going to start moving in. It'll hit a lot of places north, around North Bend and Roseburg, and then it's going to continue moving inland. And by the time we get to Wednesday afternoon, could see a fair amount of rain across our region. Some spotty showers, at least in the Rogue Valley. I'm expecting a lot of it to be east of the Cascades, up by Chemult and Christmas Valley. And then as we move it through the rest of Wednesday afternoon, could intensify just a little bit. Once we get into those later hours at some higher elevations, we could see some more of that rain snow mix as well. And taking a look at the amount of expected rainfall that we're going to see, as you can see by Thursday morning, not a whole lot of volume in terms of rainfall. Klamath Falls probably going to see the most at around 3.5 of an inch. Medford probably going to see about 1/10 of an inch as well. North Bend could see around 1 to 2/10 of an inch. It's not a ton of rain. And the good news is, other than that, it's looking pretty dry the rest of the week. So I am expecting a dry Thanksgiving. So it should be pretty pleasant in terms of that. But it is going to be a little bit on the cooler side. Taking a look at the temperature trend, we got above average temperatures over the next couple of days. And then we'll start to cool down and see more of those average temperatures. And it's probably going to stay there through the weekend. Looking at the 6 to 10 day outlook, taking a look a little bit further out into next week. Medford staying about the same temperature-wise, but trending a little bit on the drier side. So we're not expecting a whole lot in the way of precipitation, but things will be looking about the same temperature-wise. Going to stay a little bit cooler. Tonight out on the coast, just mostly cloudy. Temperatures sitting mainly in the 60s with lows mainly in the mid-40s to the low 50s out there in Gold Beach. And then on Tuesday, I'm expecting things to stay dry, just partly cloudy. But once we get to Wednesday, that's when that rain will start to move into the forecast just a little bit. In the West Valleys, again, just partly cloudy, things staying relatively calm. Those overnight lows starting to cool down a little bit, especially down south. Definitely approaching freezing in places like Montague and Mount Shasta, but not quite down to freezing yet. I think those freezing overnight lows will come a little bit later in the week. And those highs staying at mainly in the 50s and the low 60s. Then tomorrow, again, just partly cloudy, things staying relatively calm before we get that little bit of rain on Wednesday. Then east of the Cascades, a little bit cooler still for the overnight lows, getting down into the 20s and even the teens in places like Christmas Valley. So definitely be on the lookout for that. It's going to be very cold when you wake up in the morning. Could be a little bit of frost on your windshield. But other than that, just partly cloudy, not expecting anything in the way of precipitation there. Those highs staying mainly in the 40s to the low to mid 50s. Taking a look at the 7-day forecast for the Rogue Valley. Like I said, we do have that slight chance of showers on Wednesday. We are going to be cooling down as we get toward Thanksgiving, but things are going to stay dry. I'm expecting things to stay relatively cool, around average temperature-wise through the weekend and into the beginning of next week. Then in Klamath Falls, again, very similar, slight chance of showers on your Wednesday, but a dry Thanksgiving. Cooling down into the 40s for your highs, though, and pretty much staying there through the end of the weekend into next week. And as you can see, those lows getting all the way down into the teens. It's going to be very cold when you get up in the morning. In Northern California, again, just a slight chance of showers on your Wednesday. But again, dry Thanksgiving, so things should be relatively pleasant, even if they are a little bit on the cooler side. We're going to stay dry through the weekend and into next week. Then out on the coast, chance of showers on Wednesday and Thursday, so could see a little bit more rain there. Then drying out Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But then we got a slight chance of showers to begin the week on Monday.